Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khairul Haikal bin Johar. I'm from Group P1 and my matrix number is 2019406738. Okay, for the first circuit, we have a single phase half wave uncontrolled rectifier with R load. For this circuit, we have VAC with 45 volt, VS, diode, VD, that is V diode, IDC, VDC, and R for 100 ohm. Next, for the result we obtain from this circuit is, as we know, VS is equal to VAC, where VAC is a sinusoidal graph. It is a sinusoidal graph with 45 volt voltage maximum. For the VDC is equal to Vs for the positive cycle and become 0 for the negative cycle. It's become 0 because the diode, when the circuit is on negative cycle, the diode is open circuit, which is no voltage, so it's become 0. For IDC, it's equal to the graph is equal to the graph of VDC, but slightly different on the value of current. Based on Ohm's law, that is V equal to IR, the voltage is 45 and the R is equal to 100, so we get the IDC is equal to 0.45. For the R with 25 ohm, we obtain the result is 1.8 ampere. Everything is same for the 25 ohm except for the value of IDC. Okay, next we move to VD, which is V diode, is vice versa to the VDC because based on the equation, VD is equal to VAC over VS, so it is vice versa. Okay, now let's move on to the RL load. Basically, we just add a inductor on the circuit. The value of inductor is 0.05. Okay, let's move on to the result. For the result, the graph is basically the same as R load, but it's different on this part where is VDC. And the positive cycle is same as VS, but on the negative cycle, we can see the increase a bit to the 0 on the negative cycle. It is because the effect of the inductor. As we know, on positive cycle, the inductor is charged its electron, its current, but on the negative cycle, it's discharged its current. So this is the inductor is discharge the current to make it 0. It's just slightly different of changes because the value of inductor is so small. For the IDC, there is no changes because it's just Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. For the R equal to 100, we obtain 0.45 ampere, where N on 25 ohm, we obtain 1.8 ampere. Okay, for the VD, we obtain a vice versa of VDC.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. My name is Sheikh Muhammad Arham bin Cik Danan. For this evening, I will explain how I did the experiment for uncontrolled rectifier freewheeling diode. So as you can see from my screen, this is the setup that I did, and did on my left and on my right is the graph simulation of the setup that I have did. First, let's look at voltage source. Voltage source did not change much because, well, its source VAC, so it has a complete waveform cycle. For VDC, you can see from when positive cycle, it rise and then it has value for positive cycle. This when it negative cycle, it has no value. This is because when in positive cycle, this diode become short circuit, and then this diode become open circuit. So the voltage will run through the diode, and this diode will become 0 volt through the VDC, V output, IDC, I output, and then to RL, and then back to VAC for positive cycle. When in negative cycle, the when negative cycle, V V the second diode will become short circuit, and this first diode, this diode will become open circuit. So for the value of D, of first D1, in negative cycle, it will become the same with VAC, and for in negative half cycle, the second diode will become 0 volt because it short circuit, as you can see from my graph here. So in positive half cycle, VDC or V output is equal to VDC or V output has value, while in negative half cycle it does not have value, same as I output. So for VD1, as I explained before, when in positive cycle, D1 becomes short circuit, so the value is 0. But in negative cycle, D1 will become open circuit, so the value is the voltage of D1 is equal to VAC. For the VD2, this VD2, the value when positive half cycle, this VDC, this VD2 become open circuit, and because it's parallel to VAC, so the value is same as VAC. But when in negative half cycle, VD2 becomes short circuit, VD2 become short circuit, and the value voltage of D2 is 0 volt. So for that's all. Wait. So for the result, I just press this here, and then I move the cursor to calculate for 1 cycle. X2 1.0067. Alright, this. So as you can see, from the experimental value given for V average output, I got 14.32, and I output is I average V average VO V average. I got 14.32, and for I average 0.143. For VRMS, I got 2.25, 22.5. For IRMS, I got 0.221. This setup is for this setup is for resistor 100 100 ohm. So for the 25 ohm, we just can change here, and then the value will be different a bit. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.